there are no good Thanksgiving movies. Hey friends, Barkey J Dog here, and once again, Thanksgiving is upon us. My position has been very clear. Thanksgiving movies are all lousy. True, there may be some things in a movie you can like, or a cast that is good, or something like that. No doubt, they can have moments to appreciate. But overall, Thanksgiving movies, that is, movies about the actual gathering itself, are uniformly terrible. Why? Because they involve the family getting together, and that invariably leads to arguments, shouting, yelling, shocking betrayals, secrets being revealed, general bad behavior, and even food fights. The turkey, almost always, destined to fall on the floor. That's all in real life, and filmmakers think it makes for good drama or comedy. But why watch a disaster like that unfold in a movie when you can see it happen every year right at home? Ugh, Thanksgiving. Ugh. Every year I go to my sister's house, and it's always an exercise in futility. I don't want to watch a movie that reminds me of it. Well, to prove my point, again, I have a selection of ptomaine turkeys to serve up for you. First, here's a comedy called Thankful for My Family, a Thanksgiving comedy from 2019. They make sure to tell you it's a comedy in the title, which is always a bad sign. In this one, we have our hero Terrence, who lives with his girlfriend and her daughter. Fortunately, they drop her off so we don't have to suffer through this and have this kid along in the bargain. He has a camcorder so he can document the occasion, which annoys everybody. He's taken his chick to meet his family for Thanksgiving, and this family is quite something else. He has this crabby aunt who's always sniping at the girlfriend, trying to start some drama. The girlfriend is a nice person and wants to make a good impression, but is only partly successful with this crowd. There's a nephew who, spoiler alert, turns out he's bi. His wife isn't having any of that. And he has this friend who stops by who is totally Fruit Loops. So which will the nephew choose to stay with? Another guest is this hulking giant football player type guy of few words who seems scary but is really not. Now our hero is thinking that he wants to marry the girl, but when she brings this up, suddenly he has reservations. That didn't make sense because he was thinking about marrying her in the first place. Acting-wise, most of this cast is really weak. Terrence is okay, so is his girlfriend. I did like the dad and the two uncles, they were funny. The big football guy, he was okay too, but didn't have much to do. As a comedy, it has a few moments, but nothing really to write home about. And get this, this family lives in this McMansion. For the most part, they don't exactly come off as high-flying professionals. Some, like Terrence, have been to college, but most of them seem to be working class. So how did they afford a McMansion near the beachfront? And they drop the N-word, and they curse a lot, too. I don't know that they had to do that, and it only makes the characters look, well, there's no nice way to say it, less educated. And yes, you have the arguing and the bickering. There's some comedy, but it all falls kind of flat. Which is too bad, because some of the characters were okay. Maybe if they had more experienced actors, this might have come off better. And then we have Home for Thanksgiving from 2022. Now this one was kind of interesting. Here, a newly minted widow has to put together the Thanksgiving meal, and this is the first Thanksgiving since her husband passed away. So it's hard. I know someone in real life who actually went through this, and it's handled realistically here, I think. But you usually see this play out at Christmas, not Thanksgiving, so that's different. Anyway, the daughters are coming over, and this granddaughter stops by with her new boyfriend. He's a vegan, but not the annoying kind like my Aunt Betty. One of the daughters is divorced, and her ex-husband shows up. He's a loser, and he wants to worm his way back into the family, but he's a boozer-loser. Ugh, like my drunk Uncle Rusty. And, of course, he makes the meal a disaster. Bickering, arguing, yelling, crying, secrets revealed, and yes, a food fight all ensue. So I thought most of the cast was really good. I liked the mom. She was excellent. And the boyfriend, I liked him too. I liked his character. Seemed like a nice guy throughout. The granddaughter's all right too. The mom is thinking of downsizing, but agonizing over selling the family home where the daughters have all these fond memories, supposedly. But this house is not exactly a home. It's fairly Spartan, and it looks like it was built in the 2010s. If it were like a house from the 1970s, the home she and her husband started out in, I guess I could see it, but not this place. Same thing in Thankful for My Family, and a movie we looked at last year, Thanksgiving Christmas. See, what I think is that the filmmakers just rented a house to make their movie in, added some furnishings, but there's no personality in these houses. Nothing looks truly lived in. So I think they do that because it's way cheaper than to rent a studio space and build in sets and whatnot. So they rent a McMansion instead and try to pass it off as a lived-in family home. But it hurts the immersion somewhat when it's supposed to be the family gathering set at the old homestead. And while I generally like the cast, hey, look at this. This food they eat. Have you ever seen a more anemic-looking meal? I mean, that's some of the most unappetizing food I've ever seen outside of Thanksgiving at my sister's place. Where's all the color gone? They must have overcooked the hell out of those vegetables. Oh my goodness. Looks like my sister cooked it. She means well, but she can't cook her way out of a paper bag if it were soggy and open on both ends and in the middle. Like the turkey last year. To say she burned it would be an understatement. Let me tell you, that turkey was incinerated. We got it out of the oven, and once the smoke cleared and we were able to shut off all the smoke detectors, that turkey, man, what a sorry sight. That turkey was so black, it was demanding reparations. And I think the turkey deserved them. We took it out into the garage and put it on a big piece of cardboard on the concrete pad there and broke it up. We had to use a sledgehammer. Anyway, then we all put it into a paper bag and used it on the 4th of July as charcoal for the barbecue grill. But that's another story. Okay, how about this one? The Humans from 2021. This is an A24 picture. Here, the family gathers at their daughter's new apartment for Thanksgiving, where she and her boyfriend have just moved in, and their furniture hasn't arrived yet, so the place is fairly Spartan. Now, the dad here, he's a stoic, and all he can see is what's wrong with the place, and fair point, while it's spacious, and you can see that at one time the place might have been swanky, it's really run down. Besides them, there's the mom, another daughter, and their catatonic grandma. You'll wish you were her watching this one. Secrets come out, people are arguing and sniping at each other. The dad is quietly getting blitzed. Can't blame him. And to top it all off, this apartment is kinda weird. Now, I gotta tell you, this is a proper film. I know we use these terms interchangeably, movie, film, picture, but there's a difference, like Star Wars. The first one, the real one. That's a movie. And then there was The Empire Strikes Back. That was a film. There's a difference between the two. Empire has a definite tonal shift, a more serious take, right? So, this is not a movie, but an art film. And I can appreciate it from that perspective. It's based on a play and very well made. The direction, the cinematography, the cast, shot on location in a real New York apartment, all of it is really good as a film, as an art film. But most people, I think, will be bored out of their gourd with this one. The cast is very good, and you really believe they're a family. The interactions, the crosstalk, everything feels real. And they aren't no-name brands, they've all been in stuff. The boyfriend was in The Walking Dead. I liked his character here. The grandma has done tons of things. Most recently, she does a voice in Zootopia 2. She plays Gran. The dad and the mom have both been around, and this daughter here was played by Amy Schumer. So, if you don't know, Schumer is a self-professed stand-up comedian and allegedly a plagiarist. Her shtick is complaining about her crappy love life and her body and her bodily functions. Her character in The Humans is a lesbian who's just been dumped by her girlfriend. She's been fired from her job. She has colitis, which means she has to run to the bathroom a lot. And she tries to be hokey-jokey and fails most of the time. So, Amy Schumer is perfectly cast here. Actually, she had to do a bit of drama in some of the scenes, and I thought she was actually pretty good at that. The dad is disappointed with his daughter's life choices. He looks around the apartment and not even saying anything. You know what he's thinking. Richard Jenkins plays him. He was a great in this as the stoic dad. And underneath it all, this apartment is kinda spooky. This isn't a horror movie, but it has some overtones. Lights inexplicably wink out. Doors open and close of their own accord. And there are these noises everywhere. And there's this feeling of unease in it. Not overt, but more like background radiation. And it doesn't go off the rails until like the last 5 minutes or so. Even then, you don't know if it's because the place is haunted or it's just the character's wild imagination. So there was a lot to like here. This is a portrait of a family that's running out of gas. They're all washed up and don't want to face it. So it's good, right? No. During the meal, they bicker and argue and carry on. In fact, they do this throughout the movie. They snipe and say hurtful things. They have secrets. They blunder. They can't communicate properly. Everything is a veiled insult or taken as an insult a lot of the time. Yada, yada, yada. So again, this has some good things in it, but ultimately, the movie is terrible. So I go to my sister's for Thanksgiving, and what a crew. There's my nephew-niece. He still isn't sure which yet. And he still hadn't discovered the magic of taking a shower last year. Maybe this time, but I doubt it. He's always got his face shoved in his phone. I guess that's better than having to talk to him since he's all into that social justice stuff. My drunk Uncle Rusty always shows up 3 sheets to the wind, lit up like a Christmas tree. Which is ironic, given that last year he was complaining about all of the Christmas stuff up in the stores before Thanksgiving. And there he was himself, sporting Rudolph's nose. Well, there are other horrors associated with Thanksgiving, like this movie, Blood Freak, from 1972. Last year, Goposaurus, one of my viewers, he mentioned this one, so I went ahead and tracked it down. Oh God, this movie. In this one, a biker dude who's just off a tour in Nam gets in with some young people, and they're all into dope. This sexy chick takes a shine to our man, but she gets him hooked on more than sexy times. If you know what I mean. Meanwhile, he takes a job at a local turkey farm, where these two scientists are conducting experiments on turkeys. They get him to eat some tainted turkey that has this formula in it to see if it's safe for humans to eat. But the formula and the dopey drugs don't mix. Now he becomes a turkey man. A real bad trip. He goes around killing people. Not his chick, though. He has other ideas there, and it's implied the two have sexy times while he's in turkey form. Oh, God, this movie. This movie. Oh, God. The cast was mostly comprised of acting students, and they should demand their money back. And there's also the producer, I guess. I don't know who he is, but he acts like a sort of Rod Serling here in these scenes where he's pontificating about the nature of mankind and stuff, while he's constantly looking down at his script. It's a real turkey, and no mistake. Although it's not really about Thanksgiving, so it kinda doesn't count. Like my Aunt Betty's green bean casserole she brings every year. She's so into vegan that she doesn't even use real green beans in it, because she doesn't want the vegetables to feel exploited. So she uses fake green beans made out of tofu with seaweed juice to make them green. God. Ugh. Speaking of horrors, how about this side of salmonella? Turkey Town Thanksgiving Party from 2018. This is a fully animated CGI abomination from hell. There's no story or anything, just these CGI animals dancing. That's it, for like 80 minutes. This is one of the worst experiences I've ever had, and I gotta say, I go to my sister's for Thanksgiving every year. The CGI is super cheap looking too. Avoid this one like my sister's cooking. Ugh. So, once again, this year we see that there are no good Thanksgiving movies. If you have to screen one of these, I'd say Home for Thanksgiving is the least terrible, and The Humans is very well made if you want a proper art house film. Well, I suppose I'm stuck. I gotta get going and make the trip to my sister's place. I'll be thankful when it's over. But I do hope your Thanksgiving is happy and not crappy. And I'll see you next time. Thanksgiving. I just don't know. I don't know.